I thought I wanted success, but I realized that I really just want freedom. I used to think that I wanted like this multi-million dollar company, but I'm starting to think, what if $250,000 a year is enough? I've been redefining what I want, but working through the noise of what I don't. And it's an interesting space to be in, but I'm becoming more honest in that space. Sometimes we chase more and more we think is better, but sometimes more is just more. And I don't think I want the more. I definitely don't want more with misalignment. I don't want more with unfulfillment. I don't want, a job or a space that feels stressful or exhausting. I don't want 12-hour work days. I don't want to always be on. I don't even always want people to contact me some days. Like, if I'm off, let me be off. Let my phone be on do not disturb without an emergency. I have greatly defined what success looks like now. I was talking to my girlfriend on the phone on Sunday. We were catching up for about an hour, and she said, Renee, she said, I'm to the point where I just want to make coconuts and sell them and be on somebody's tropical beach with a little tiki hut. I said, you know what? I've been thinking about a coffee shop. So maybe we connect the tiki hut to the coffee shop. You do the coconuts. I sell the coffee, and they can buy the dogs from the back. We got rescue dogs available. We started cracking up, but I love her so much. Whitney, we are always like here. We and her are always here. And I know for her, the reality check lately is the fact that she turns 40 in a couple days, and turning 40, we're both in this space where we're not married. We don't have, children. I always say I don't have living children. As you know, my son passed away 9 years ago during my pregnancy. And so life looks different for her and I. And we talk about that all the time. She is a business owner. I technically am not, but I guess maybe we count YouTube because that is my second income stream. And I'm going in the direction of creating what I want, how I want it to feel. And I'm excited about my career pivot because I realize with this career pivot, it falls perfectly in the bubble of what success looks like for me. Becoming a therapist it's not the highest paid position in the world. It's not the lowest either, but it's one where the fulfillment will be there. And so the ceiling, I can move it, however I want to. It can look like hosting retreats and intimate getaways and get-togethers. It can look like group coaching. It can look like some type of membership. And, I definitely have some pro bono work in there too. It can look like whatever I want it to look like. That's why I'm so excited about it. It can look like the nature therapy. Like, this is the thing about success. And I I've been like shedding my employee mentality and gaining the mentality of a owner, but owning my life on my own terms. Success can look like what you want it to be. It doesn't have to look like what the job told us it had to. It doesn't have to look like the traditional path that all of us have taken for a really long time. It doesn't have to look like being put in this box. And that's what excites me so much about creating success quite literally on my own terms. I want to talk about, I have my notes. I got my notes. I want to talk about corporate achievement versus emotional freedom. And I think what a lot of us are wanting, me especially, is emotional freedom. I had a taste of it once before, actually with the corporate job that I worked. But when I realized that this is actually how I wanted my days to be, I wanted to wake up and have a slower morning to myself and sip on my tea or my coffee and sit outside on the balcony and just watch like the sunrise and then take my dog for a walk for like an hour because we both love to be outside and then have my breakfast and just ease my way into the workday. And I'd probably, do all of this and be on my computer by like 9:30 felt really healthy. Um, that to me is emotional freedom. And I'm not saying you got to do it in that same order, but what does emotional freedom look like and feel like? And have you actually sat with that, with the fact that your days don't have to be hectic and chaotic? I got tired of driving through Atlanta traffic every single day. I was like, the amount of time that I spent in traffic was pretty much a second job because what the heck? Sometimes even this Detroit traffic gets me a little bit. But emotional freedom are the things that help your inner, like just they help you, your nervous system, just feel at peace and at ease. And we've been so like groomed to be on or be tense or like be bracing for the next thing that's about to happen. And that's not how you should not live like that. You don't have to live like that. You deserve the latter experience. Realizing that I wanted slowness, flexibility, and creativity has been like definitely not on my 2026 bingo card, but I welcome it now more than anything. And I make decisions from that lens. I set my boundaries from that lens. If it's not going to allow me to feel like X, then it's a no. Now, I can't control everyone else around me, right? I can't control who approaches me, who calls me at 7 in the morning before I even get to work. I can't control, any fires that may come up, but I can control me. I can control how I react to the fire. I can control how I respond to the fire. I am not a woman that wakes up at home and checks her work email off the bat. Do not ask me to ever do that because I'm not, because I used to be that girl. I used to always be on until I realized cancer woke me up. Being on doesn't make me better. It just drains me. And then I had like no time for my personal creativity at home to actually like make my art, do my things, have an outlet, have a hobby. I was literally living on autopilot, like a one-way ticket to burnout, and it burnt me out. And then I was diagnosed with breast cancer, like right after. And that made me sit down and it made me slow down and it made me reassess and it made me like start to change how I did things. And there's something about when you get like this second wind or this second act or this second opportunity where I'm like, Lord, help me do better because I actually don't want all the things that I thought that I wanted. I thought I wanted those things. I thought I wanted the titles. I thought I wanted the letters. I thought I wanted to be the most reliable, the most dependable. No, I'm going to naturally flow in my skill sets, right? Like, yes, I'm a woman of integrity and consistency. That's who Renee is. Renee is that way for Renee, not for a job, not for you, not for your approvals, not for you to like me. I don't care if you like me. I don't care how you feel, to be honest, in the most respectable way. But that's Renee for Renee first. And then everybody else is second. So I move from a place now where slowness is a priority. Flexibility is important because in my life today, like I come first and my family comes first and everything else comes after. Time is so precious. And I have, well, my mom's a senior. My dad technically is not. And my parents are 11 years apart, y'all. So my mom is older. Yes, she was in her cougar era, like they call it. But I have moments where they need me and I will always be available. And that will always be my priority. You know, my dad has neuropathy in his feet. Sometimes he can't drive himself. So sometimes I do need to drive him to certain things and appointments. Or, you know, my mom sometimes needs a little help too. So it's like if my brother isn't available to do that, then I'll make myself available to do that, especially since, you know, I'm close, I'm back home now. But I mean, one of my goals in the future is to move and transition and make space for my parents to also be there too, because I love having my parents around. And coming from this like new perspective of life overall and like what I really, really value, it's no longer dedicating all my time to a job. It's no longer working more than my allotted hours. It's no longer staying from open to close. It's not that. There are moments where, yeah, I could be a team player, but the work doesn't come first for me anymore. So I realize that those are the things that are so important to me. And even as I go on to get into my new passion pivot, I will still prioritize those same. And then there are some women that chase titles when you actually want spaciousness. I think titles make us feel more qualified, make us feel like the right person for the job, especially if you're someone that's been like, you know, you went to school. We were taught how to do well in school. We were taught how to do really good and get a good outcome. And then when you go and try to create your own business, be your own entrepreneur, make a second stream of income, you feel a little bit stuck because we've chased the titles and the reward that we think that they bring, because it also comes with a form of approval. But we have to learn to give ourselves approval first. We have to learn to trust ourselves first. So it's almost like a retraining of realizing, where do your values really lie in who you are. You're not less than because you didn't execute to a high level. You're not less than because, you know, someone told you that you, I don't know, can't do it. Like, you have to tell yourself you can do it first. You have to understand to be your own cheerleader first before you let somebody else deem and put a title on you. And think about, what does spaciousness even look like? Like, oftentimes we think that we need to make $1 million, but we really could live off of 200,000. You just haven't done your budget enough to actually know. And then when you don't sit down to actually understand what you want, what type of life you want, how you want your mornings to feel, how you want your days to be, what you want them to look like, what work do you really want to be doing? Were you even called to do what you're actually doing right now? Or did you fall into it? Like, you know, what is it? When you take time and actually understand those things, then you can create room for the spaciousness in your life that you really deserve and you really desire. When we kind of mask or glance over those areas, I think that's where you see like the lack. I hope that makes sense. But most of us say we need or think we need more money, but maybe you don't need the amount that you need to feel comfortable. Maybe you just need a reset and you need to do your budget and you need to realign with your values and let your budget match your values. You know, you may think you want that title, but maybe you just want the job that pays what that title makes because you don't want to manage people anymore. You know, maybe the spaciousness is getting your time back and not being the number one or the first, you know, line of duty. I'm not saying that right, but the first person of contact in some of these jobs. Maybe you just want to take a back seat for a minute, and that's the spaciousness that you need. So figure out what that, you know, what that needs to look like for yourself. And then how making money online cracked my brain open. It represents choice. Quite literally, making money online represents choice. It's the fact that I have options now and I can continue to explore these options. Money isn't everything, but it is a tool, it is a driver, and it can change things. You get on here and you start, you know, selling your art, selling your expertise or your skill sets, and then you can change your environment. You can change the neighborhood that you live in. You can get your mom the care that she needs. You know, you can get a new car if that's what you want, or you can work less and leave your job, or you can go travel. Money creates options, but we need to know that we have the choice. And when we know that we actually have a choice, then it's like, okay, what do I want to do with this and where do I want to take it? And it's so rewarding to get paid for the gift that you have. That's like such a rewarding thing. They don't tell you that in the workforce, but we need to learn that. It is so rewarding to get paid for the gift that you have, whatever your gift may be. You are the best baker, you make the best sweet potato pies, you are an amazing chef, you are a great writer, you love screen printing t-shirts, you love talking, you're a life coach. God instills these gifts in us with a purpose. And we know the parable of the sower. So make good use of the gift that you have, that He's given you. So these are just some of the random thoughts that I had that came to my mind today for sure. But if any of this resonated, I mean, I think the next video is going to continue to hit in the same arena. So tell me what you've actually been desiring to change for yourself. Tell me what freedom or success looks like for you now. You know, maybe you're one of these women that thought you wanted success, but you actually want freedom. So what's your definition of freedom? That's actually what I really want to know. What's your definition of freedom? Tell me in the comments below. And until the next video, I'll talk to you later.